Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today I'm using a free pattern to make a t-shirt dress. I'm super excited about it, so let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to be using the knit tee style from the Ellie and Max PJ pattern, adult PJ pattern. So in that pattern, it's such a great pattern and it's a free pattern. You've got a woven version that buttons up and has pants, but you also have the t-shirt version that it's made with knit, and you can also have the knit pants. I'm not doing the pants. I'm going to use the knit version to make a t-shirt dress. I'm super excited about it. The only thing I'm doing differently to this pattern is I'm going to be adding a little bit of length, so it's a little bit longer than what it's intended, just because I want it to be a little bit longer. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my fabric. All right, the only thing I'm doing a little bit different is I'm going to be adding a little bit of length. It actually has on your pattern piece for nightgown, add 2 inches to the bodice at this line for mid-thigh. So if you want it to be mid-thigh, you would add 2 inches, add 5 inches for longer length. So I am going to be at this line right here, I'm going to be adding 5 extra inches so that it's a longer length for my t-shirt, because I want it to be more of like a, you know, I can just throw it on and run out the door. I'm using this gorgeous waffle fabric, but I also think that some cotton spandex would be amazing on this, or some loose knit fabric that's flowy would be amazing on this. So let's get started. All right friends, my pattern is cut and I wanted to show you just how easy this is to sew. So we're going to do everything together. I'm not gonna speed it up. We're just going to do it, and I'm gonna show you just how easy it is to do, and you're gonna be like, wow, definitely I can do this, because I know you can. So we've got the one piece. This is actually the front, as you can see, slower. So you can either grab the front or the back. It doesn't really matter. I just wanted to show you the difference. It's a little bit higher on the back. So all you want to do is you want to put these two sides, right sides together at the shoulders, right here, the shoulder seam, right sides together, and we're going to sew that. I'm going to be using my serger, but you can also use any kind of stretch stitch on your sewing machine, zigzag stitch, lightning bolt stitch, whatever you want to do with that. I am using a Brother 1034D serger. It's an entry-level serger. I like it a lot. If you're thinking about getting a serger, this is a good serger to learn your way around a serger. It's super easy, and we do have a video here on our channel about how to use this serger. My light is broken, but that's okay, it still works. So we're gonna sew both shoulders. And our seam allowance is a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so you're not really chopping up a lot. All right, so now that the shoulders are sewn, we're gonna sew our sleeves in. So I'm gonna move this iron because it is hot and I don't wanna burn myself. Okay, so to do that, you're going to open up. Here's where the head hole is, the neckline, really not a head hole, a neckline. And here is my sleeves. See how that's got that shape? It's called an arm side. We're gonna grab our sleeves that we cut out. I cut out the short sleeve, so if you are doing the long sleeve, obviously it'll be longer. And we're going to fold them in half and mark the center, the top center. And usually I like to use like little scissors to clip right there, but I don't know where I have my little scissors, so I'm just gonna mark them with pins. Now when I cut my fabric, I marked where the back of the sleeve was, which is the higher piece of the neckline. So we're gonna put the sleeves right sides together. That point that you marked is gonna go right where we sewed the shoulders together. And then this is the back, is going towards the back. And what we're doing is we're matching the sleeve to the arm side, right sides together along that raw edge. So we're gonna go all the way down. And we'll do the same to the other side as well. We'll just put in it all the way down one way. And we're gonna do that for both sleeves. Now, like I said, I'm using my serger. That is an entry-level serger. I love using the serger because it gives you that finished edge, which I'm gonna show you in a minute. right here. See how it looks finished already? With a sewing machine, it won't be finished, but it really is not necessary to have that finished look right there if you don't have a serger. Where did my sleeve go? I lost it. So we're doing the same thing with the other sleeve. And I just wanted to keep you on here for the process because I wanted you to see how easy it is to sew this up and how quickly really you can sew this dress up. After I'm done with attaching the sleeve, you can go ahead and get your band for prepping your neckband. I am doing a short sleeve version, so I don't have to prep bands, armbands, but if you have armbands to prep, you could prep them the same way as the neckband. So I'm going to put that aside. We're going to sew that in a minute. So I'm going to prep my neckband. What I like to do for my neckband is to grab it and fold it wrong sides together and give it a memory crease. You will have to sew this on the round, and it is harder to sew it on the round if it's not folded because you're going to sew it folded like this. So it's better to give it a memory crease. It's very helpful. Then we're going to open it back up and we're going to place those two short raw edges together right here, and that's what we're going to sew together. Make sure that it's not twisted. It's on the round, but it's not twisted. It's all the right way. So let's sew that and the sleeves on. All right, so let's start with sewing up that neckband. And now it's prepped. And then the sleeves, we'll sew them up. And go. Make sure that both sides are touching. I'm going to eat up those notches that I made to know which one's the front and the back. But make sure that the raw edges are touching so that you don't have a gap in your sleeve. I love working with clips when I use knit fabric. I feel like they hold the fabric together better than pins do. But honestly, either one will be just fine. Here at the end, I like to just give it a little tail and then come around and let my serger knife clip it for me. So that's what I do. You don't have to do that. You can just cut it with scissors, clip it with scissors right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and sew the other one, the other sleeve on. I sometimes like to use for knit fabrics, I use woolly nylon, which is like a softer thread on the two loopers, which are the two little spools on the right end. But more information can be found on this serger on our channel as well. Going all the way around. All right, so now we've got our sleeves are on, our shoulders are on, it's coming together. We're gonna fold this right sides together, so fold it inside out again, and we're going to sew our sides. So we're gonna match up our sides where the seam is at the armpit and go down the sleeve. Now I have a short sleeve, so I only have a tiny little piece of fabric going here at the end, but if you have long sleeve, obviously it's longer. And then we're going to go down the bottom of the side, and we're going to go down both sides. I really wanted to do this real live. I know that sometimes I speed videos up just because of the convenience. I think, you know, you don't want to sit there for just watching me do the same thing over and over again, so I speed it up. But I thought that this would be a good video for you to check out and see like real time, real life, how easy it is to sew up a pattern like this. Now this pattern is free, so go grab it. If you're a beginner, this is a great pattern for beginner sewists. I love it. And if you're wondering about sewing with a sewing machine because you don't have a serger, you can definitely do that. We do have videos here on our YouTube channel that show how to sew stretch stitch with a sewing machine. I actually sew up atop the Discover Tee using just a sewing machine. It's super easy to do as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just clipping these threads. I can clip these because they're going to be sewn into the neckband, so it gets cut in there. So we're gonna fold that neckband over that crease that we made earlier. If you can see right here, I'm gonna also clip these threads. And I'm gonna clip right here. So this is the back seam. So we're gonna go from the back to the front, and we're going to mark our band. I go really detailed on this on a video. It's called Bands, if you want to check that out. Then I match the front and the back and go to the sides. I like to do like a little snip with my my clips, just in case for some reason the clip falls off. I still know where that is right there. See, it's got a little, I hope you can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not. But then that way I'll be able to still see where I'm supposed to be at and not get lost. Then for the neck, I'm gonna grab the shoulders and match them right sides together and go towards the front. So I can mark my front of my shirt, and then I'm gonna go towards the back so I can mark the back of my shirt. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab the front and the back where I marked and place them together and go to the sides. One mistake that some new sewists make that I didn't even know when I first started sewing, because I was self-taught. I didn't go anywhere for somebody to teach me these things, is that some people will use the shoulder seams as their quarter points, like the middle. So you'll divide like shoulder, front, and back. But you cannot do that because usually for most patterns, your neck area, your front neck area goes down a little bit lower than your back. Your back stays up higher, which means that you need more neckband to go this way, or it's gonna be too tight up here and too loose in the back. So always make sure that you quarter your band correctly. So then what we do now is we match up those quarter points right sides together. So the back with the back, here is my little area. So we're gonna match that right there, quarter, then the front, and then the other side. So now we're gonna go over to our serger and sew these in. So this neckband in, sew the sides, and then all we'll have left to do is hemming. All right, so the sides are pretty self-explanatory. We're just gonna go straight down the side. And then the other side. Now the neckband is a little bit trickier. What I like to do with the neckband is I like to always sew with the neckband up, because the neckband is short, it's small, and so I want to make sure that I can see it. Sorry, there's a piece of thread coming from somewhere else. I want to make sure that I can see how much I'm going to eat. You don't want to eat too much of the band because then you'll have a really skinny band. I'm going to grab at the first quarter and I'm going to pull my band to fit the width of my neck. My neck is a little bit longer because the neckband is kind of going to bring it together. So I'm going to pull on that, and then I'm going to make sure that they're even, and then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to pick this up and go to the next quarter point and do the same thing and even it out and go. And then the next quarter point, number 3. And last but not least, quarter point number 4.
my neckband.
All right, so for my neckband, you always want to give it a good steam. I'm gonna fold my seam, push my seam towards the inside of my dress and steam it down. You can do what is called top stitching, which is you go from the outside and you use, well, if you don't have a cover stitch, which is what I used to hem, you would use like double needle or zigzag stitch or something, and you can stitch right along the edge to hold that down, that seam down, but it's not necessary. And when I didn't have a cover stitch, I didn't ever do it, but you can if you want to. You don't have to. Okay, so our dress is basically done. Now all we need to do is hem. A lot of times with knit fabrics, if you didn't want to hem, you don't have to. They don't really fray, like they don't fall apart at the edge like a lot of wovens do. I'm just trimming my threads right here. But some people don't like the raw edge look. Some people love the raw edge look, and if you do, then you're done. But I'm gonna go ahead and hem it. And sometimes I do like to wait until I try it on to see how high I wanna hem it. Like, you know, if I wanna to do a whole inch or just a half an inch. The pattern calls for half an inch seam allowance, hem allowance, I'm sorry. So that's what the pattern calls for, so that's what I'm doing for the sleeve. I'm folding them half an inch in and steaming, and then I'll go over to my cover stitch and hem. But if you wanted it shorter, you know, that's up to you. That's the good thing about sewing your own garments, that you can make it however you want to. The length you want to make it, all that, all those different things. So I am just folding it in, and some people like to measure. I just go for it. I don't know why. I kind of gotten used to like what a half an inch looks like, so I just don't use measurements, but it's up to you if you want to measure. Comment below and let me know, are you a new sewist or have you been sewing for a while, and how long have you been sewing for? And then also let me know who taught you how to sew, or are you learning by yourself on YouTube, watching videos and teaching yourself how to do it? I want to know. I want to know all the questions. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same for the bottom. I'm going to hem at half an inch, so I'm just going to fold that up and hem and then move on. We have a ton of videos with different tips and tricks for sewing. So if you are a new sewist, or even a sewist that has been doing it for a long time but you want some refreshing new videos and new techniques and stuff, you can check out all of our videos that we have. And then in the information below, so that was not what I was meaning to say, the box below, I will have the link to this pattern, so you can go ahead and grab it and sew yourself your beautiful dress. Let me know below if you have any questions about anything that I'm doing. I wanted to show you all like real life so you could see just how easy this is. But if you have any more questions, just comment below and we'll get back to you on that. I'm gonna head over and top stitch this and we'll be done. All right, y'all, this is my cover stitch. Now, it looks a lot like a serger. I get a lot of questions about how do you hem with a serger. I'm not hemming with a serger. This is actually, it's called a cover stitch. That is what it's for. It's made for hemming, basically. It's got 2 needles. Well, it could have 3, but I removed the 3rd one. This is a Pace Setter Cover Stitch 2340 CV by Brother. I do have a video on our YouTube channel about this cover stitch and everything that it offers and does. It literally makes hemming so here we are back to the beginning. So I'll just run right over that. Pull my threads up, pull back,
cut and come off. And there we go. As you can see on the back, there is my back of the cover stitch. Here, see how it catches that? And then the front, it just, let me show you a piece where you can really see it. It just looks like two stitches, row of stitches. I'm gonna do the same for the sleeves, and we are done. And then I'll try it on and show you just how cute this looks on. One sleeve down, one more to go. And tell me what you think about this. So was it as easy as you thought, or was it harder than you thought, or does it make it seem like you can do it? Are you going to try it out? Are you going to sew up something with me? Don't be scared. It's so much fun. Almost there. We made it. We are done. Let me go try it on. All right, friends, we are done with our t-shirt dress. It is a tiny bit shorter than I wanted it. I wanted it like about 2 inches longer, but that's okay. You can always add more length to it when you're sewing up your own, or if you want it short, you can always leave it short. I actually love this. It's super comfy. I think it's going to be so fun to just style around the house or throw on, actually, a jacket around your waist and go have some fun with some cute little shoes and stuff. Now, this jacket does not match, I know that, but this was a jacket that I sewed up using this free pattern. So now this pattern, not only does it have this knit t-shirt knit, I'm losing my words, PJ top, but it also has a woven version which buttons up, and I used that one to create this jacket, and it's super cute. It was free as well, so you can go ahead and go check that video out and make your own jacket, and then you have this cute little outfit to go around town in. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't so you never miss any of our tutorials. Let me know if you're gonna go sew this up. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!